Hello my lovely people. Guys, welcome to today's video. I'm glad you guys could make it. I hope you are well. I really hope you are. Thank you for all your comments and support on last week's video. I appreciate you guys. Guys, today I want to talk to you about purpose and what does that mean? What does it look like? And that's a very important question everyone needs to ask once in their lives, because it's the essence behind why we are alive, why are we here, what are we here for, what are we created to do. So it's an important one to ask. So I want to take you guys to Ruth. First of all, go and read Ruth, guys. Ruth is such a wonderful story and a wonderful book in the Bible, a love story, so you guys will enjoy it. I for one am a complete sucker for love stories, so if you are too, then go and read Ruth. So we meet actually Naomi first, and her husband and her two sons. They moved to Moab, and her sons get married as well, but then her husband and her two sons die, unfortunately. So she wants to go back to Bethlehem, which is her homeland, and she tells that to her two daughters-in-law, and she tells them that she doesn't have a future for them. She doesn't have any more sons. She can't give them a future. And they persist and they say no, but then eventually she says, no, guys, stay here. And Orpah's like, okay, I'll stay. But Ruth is like, no, Naomi, I am going with you. Your people will be my people, your God will be my God. So she goes with Naomi. And it's this long story now about how Ruth then goes to the grain fields and she picks up leftover grain, and Boaz, our male character, comes onto the scene, and Ruth starts to find favor in his eyes, and it's like this whole thing happening. The plot thickens, and then Naomi asks Ruth, she says, okay, Ruth, you have to go to Boaz in the night, and you have to go to the threshing floor, lie down at his feet, and ask him to redeem you, or to redeem us. And that was quite a big thing, because that was like, you don't do that. It's very no go. But she did this. So we read in Ruth 3, verse, let me just see, verse 9. So she's lying down at his feet, and he asks, who are you? And Ruth says, I'm your servant Ruth. She says, spread the corner of your garment over me, since you are my guardian redeemer, or the guardian redeemer of our family. That's a long story now, the guardian redeemer thing. I'm not going to go into that, but just bear with me. Then verse 10, the Lord bless you, my daughter, he replied. This kindness is greater than that which you showed earlier. You have not run after the younger men, whether rich or poor. And now, my daughter, don't be afraid. I will do for you all you ask. And then eventually, because there's another man that might want to redeem them, but he doesn't, so eventually Ruth and Boaz get married, and they have a baby named Obed. Guys, Ruth 4, verse 16. Then Naomi took the child, this is now the baby, in her arms and cared for him. The woman living there said, Naomi has a son, and they named him Obed. Listen to this, guys. He was the father of Jesse, ring a bell, the father of David. Guys. Ruth became the great-grandmother, the iamgrete of King David. This is crazy. Just by being obedient, by what she did, by coming with Naomi into a foreign land with foreign people, by working, or by picking up the leftovers, by going to Boaz, she literally stepped into the bloodline of King David and of Jesus Christ eventually, guys, just by being obedient. But I also want to remind you of something. So in Esther, go read Esther as well. Wonderful, wonderful book. When the Jews, their lives are in danger, then Esther, they ask Esther, they plead with Esther, please go and plead with the king to spare our lives. And that was something also very unspoken, undone. You don't go to the king or if he didn't request for you to come. So, and then Mordecai, our uncle, tells her, do not think that because this is in Esther 4, verse 13. Do not think that because you are in the king's house, you alone of all the Jews will escape. For if you remain silent at this time, relief and deliverance for the Jews will arise from another place, but you and your father's family will surely perish. And who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this. So he tells her that, sweetie, if you are not going to be obedient, then the Lord will find another way. He can make another plan, but it won't be beneficial for you. So do keep that in mind as well. So the Lord needs a willing heart. He just needs you to say, Lord, okay, I am not perfect. I'm not a prophet. I'm not a king. I'm not someone important. But I have a willing heart, and I'm willing to walk in your will and your purpose for my life. I'm willing to glorify you in all I do, and to honor you, to glorify you. So just a quick testimony in my life. So grade 9, then we had to choose subjects for grade 10 and 11 and 12. And I did quite well in school, so people expected me to take what they call the big 6. So that was like physics and biology and accounting. But I am not a numbers person. I don't do numbers and I don't like physics. So I decided not to take that. And it was actually also interesting because my mother asked my father, but what if we're closing a door, that maybe it would be an opportunity later. And my father said, but what if that door was never open and we're just trying to push it open? Guys, think about that one. But anyway, so I didn't take those eventually. So I took biology and art and music, which was so lovely and exactly what my passions were, and what I loved. And I had some resistance, people questioning me for what I did, and not agreeing with me, but it's okay, guys. We persist. And what did I end up studying? Now I'm studying BA Language and Culture, which is English and Chinese and psychology, ancient cultures, and general linguistics. And those are absolutely my passions and what I love. And I still don't know where that's going to take me, where I'm going to end up, but that's okay, guys. We need to surrender and give our lives to God and just be like, Lord, here's my life, take it. And you lead me, you guide me, I will follow in your ways. Just be obedient and surrender to him. He needs a willing heart, that's all. And then one last thing I want to image, or just analogy I want to share with you, is I always think about life as a puzzle, and about it being, or like every day is like little pieces that you put in. And remember, puzzles, they have like the bright and exciting parts that you get to build, but they also have the shadows, and they also have the dark spots, and those have to be built as well. And then you also get the parts that are like difficult pieces to find, and you struggle to find those pieces, but they also go in eventually. So think about that, and about your life just being little steps you take, one step at a time. Think about that one. Okay guys, that was all for today. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and be sure to leave me a comment if you want down below. Any questions, any suggestions, anything that's on your mind, and be sure to subscribe if you want. I'll see you guys next week, and that was purpose and what that means in God's eyes. And I am Grete. Bye guys.